Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I thought we'd take the Latecoere Type 631 flying boat from Dunkirk, France, and just do a relaxing little relocation flight over the channel to Dover in Great Britain. I'm really glad they decided to add planes like this into Microsoft Flight Simulator. These are kind of the obscure vintage airplanes that I really like to see. I'd honestly never heard of this flying boat until they added it, and then when they added it to Flight Simulator, it made me want to research it and know more about it. But anyway, let's hop inside. And if I can't remember how to start it, we can always just go into the clipboard and cheat. But I don't want to do that. I actually want to figure out how to get it started. There's the battery. I did manage to get this started once before, but I don't remember how I did it. So now we got the APU started. There we go. I had my fuel valves shut off. Well, that's one. Alright, we should be ready to go. Go ahead and close the door, take the flag off. Alright, I finally managed to get the engine started. And we should be ready to take off. Bring the flaps up a notch. Oh, there is no notch. They're either up or they're down. Flaps up. And now we can go ahead and retract the floats. There we go. We'll go ahead and climb up to 1,000 meters. And just fly up the French coast just a bit. And there's 1,000 meters. Gonna bring the propellers back to 22,000 RPMs or so. Now we can start turning towards the towards Dover. I know this thing has some kind of fancy old-timey radio navigation suite, but I honestly have no clue how to use it. Go ahead and engage the gyro pilot. These local Legends aircraft, I'm really glad that we're getting to see obscure planes like this in Flight Sim. What this Type 631 has that I wish more flying boats had it has a tugboat that you can deploy when the engines are shut off and you're on the water, and you can use it to maneuver the boat around while it's on the water, which is really nice. It lets you maneuver it around harbors and turn it around and stuff like that. Hopefully these local Legends aircraft like the Type 631, the Spirit of St. Louis, and all the other planes that they've added, that Asobo has added to Microsoft Flight Simulator will work with Flight Simulator 2024, and hopefully if they're actually adding some kind of career mode, which is what I really hope they're adding, and not just some silly showcase missions with cutscenes, which is what I'm afraid will happen, that we'll actually get to use this plane or all of these local Legend airplanes for in a career mode, so we can haul passengers and cargo from place to place and earn hours and earn credits to hire more pilots and buy more planes and stuff like that. That's what I'm really hoping is that's what I'm really hoping they're going to add to 2024, is an actual career mode, and not just some glorified showcase missions that have cutscenes and animations and stuff that you play once and then never play again. And that looks like Dover right over there. So I guess we can start to slow down and descend. Go ahead and shut the gyro pilot off. Gonna try and come in from the right side so we can fly along the cliffs, and then hopefully land inside the harbor. Let's go ahead and do a flyover of the harbor first before we sit down in there. Guess we can start configuring the plane for landing, so we can put the floats down. Go ahead and drop the flaps. Put it into a really hard bank into the harbor. It does not like to bank very hard, that's for sure. It side slips and loses altitude very quickly. And there we go, we've landed in Dover. I'm gonna be honest, the scenery here is kind of disappointing. Maybe this is what it actually looks like, but I doubt it. I feel like it needs more cranes and stuff. I think even Rise of Flight and Isle 2 have better depictions of Dover. There's our towboat. And now we can go into the cockpit, use the clipboard, and actually use it to tow us closer to the shore, where I wish we could moor up to a pier and actually have lines come out, and like it would be a dynamic thing we could interact with in the world, where we can go up to a pier and push a hotkey and then have it moor to the harbor, and have like ropes come out and have a boarding platform come out. But I do tend to agree with how a lot of people, maybe less hardcore simmers, feel, and that they wish there was more to do in Flight Simulator. Because at the moment, the only reason to fly anywhere is just because, you know, you want to. Not because there's any kind of progression, or because there's any kind of, you know, any reason to. Like, if you think of why games like Trucking Simulator are so popular, it's not necessarily because, you know, the scenery is realistic or anything. It's because people like the career mode, and also because it's relaxing. But at least there's, you know, there's a reason, there's a purpose behind what you're doing in Truck Simulator that I wish Flight Simulator had. And I know there's third-party programs you can buy or download that will kind of give you a career mode, but I honestly cannot stand those. For one thing, they're external programs that you have to sync the simulator to, and every time you're going to fly, you have to, you know, it'll open up Flight Simulator and has to load every time, and I can't stand clunky third-party career mode add-ons. I prefer it to actually be in the simulator, in the menus. Like even if it was something that was up here in the toolbar, that would be fantastic, but so far nobody's created anything like that. And so the prospect of 2024 having an actual career mode is really exciting to me personally. You know, a lot of people think that 2022 is going to just be, you know, abandoned. And there's going to be at least 3 more local legend and famous flyer planes that they're going to add. So I know they're still going to do some world updates and famous flyers and planes that they're going to add. So that's not true. Not that flight simulators you know, were cheap to begin with. Just ask any DCS player how cheap flight simulators are. And you know, it's not unusual for Flight Simulator to come out with a new edition every couple of years. You just look at Flight Simulator 98, then Flight Simulator 2002 and 2004. I mean, I've played all of the flight simulators since 2002. Flight Simulator 2002, my very first flight when I was little was in Flight Simulator 2002, and it was in a Beechcraft Baron out of Meigs Field. And I thought that the horizon was the altimeter, so I did a loop right off the runway. I still remember that. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me in this little repositioning flight from Dunkirk to Dover in the, and I'm sure I'm butchering this pronunciation, but the Lat-E-Co-Air Model 631 French flying boat. And thanks for watching, everybody.